Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. So, in the words of GGG, big drama show over in Belfast at the SSE Arena. Paddy Donovan totally dominates Lewis Crocker in a battle of undefeated fighters. Crocker from Belfast, the hometown fighter. Donovan from Ireland, I think he's from Limerick. Donovan completely dominates Crocker and then gets promptly disqualified in the 8th round. So Crocker moves to 21 wins with 11 KOs, no draws, no defeats, and Donovan slips to 14 wins and 1 defeat. But there's a lot to unpack here, okay? So throughout the fight, Donovan was being reprimanded by the referee for use of the head, okay? In the 3rd round, he cut Crocker, and the referee, Marcus McDonald, ruled it a punch, not a headbutt, even though the heads were going in. Now, I thought this was a little unfair on Donovan, the fact that he was getting reprimanded, because Crocker has a style where Crocker was the guy walking forward. He was the one trying to put the pressure and the heat on the opponent. And he had his hands very high, but he also had his head to the point where it was kind of almost leaning over the front line. And I was thinking, you know, Donovan's going to be able to land some decent uppercuts here. It was almost like Crocker was at times falling in. And the heads were kind of going together, but I wouldn't say it was all Donovan's fault. Nevertheless, the referee disagreed. And he actually penalised Donovan 2 separate rounds, the 6th round and the 8th round, which was the ultimate round. He had penalised him a point apiece in those rounds for use of the head. Now, up to that point, Donovan had completely dominated the fight. He was boxing really beautifully. I mean, he wasn't backing off. He was certainly having the first say and the last say, firing far more punches than Crocker. Crocker looking to land heavy single punches. But that was nothing compared to what Donovan was doing. Donovan boxed beautifully. I mean, he was doing little semicircles, side steps, constantly making Crocker reset. He knew that Crocker, he's got a bit of pop to his punches, whereas Donovan likes to sort of, it's death by 1,000 cuts. You know, with Crocker, it's more sort of heavy-handedness. Like we saw that against, what's the guy, Jose Felix. That was a good 5-round knockout, but I wouldn't say he's got one punch pop. I mean, he's only got 11 KOs in 21 wins, but he does like to load up a bit, and that was playing right into Donovan's hands. Donovan is a southpaw, Crocker is orthodox. Was the southpaw stance giving Crocker a bit of trouble? I thought it was a little bit, yeah. I thought it was adding to the mix, and he just couldn't get set. He couldn't get his punches off, and he couldn't find any kind of rhythm because Donovan was just, doing some beautiful up-close work, but he was getting penalised for the use of the head. Now, in the 3rd round, there was a cut over the right eye. Like I say, that was ruled a punch. Then there was a cut underneath the left eye. I think that was around 6 or 7, something like that. But that was a result, I think, of a swelling. Initially, it was a swelling, and then the swelling split. And you could tell that the swelling was also spreading. And by the 8th round, the eye was virtually shut. And Crocker was constantly, there was no quitting the kid, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that at all. But he was looking a bit forlorn, as you would expect, because he couldn't do anything with Donovan. And he was basically getting beaten up, not just beaten, but beaten up. And facially, he had all sorts of swellings and scars and all sorts of stuff going on there. I mean, it was grim to look at. Well, in the 8th round, he got floored. He got floored by a right to the head. He said afterwards, I couldn't see anything coming from the left-hand side because of the swelling and the cut and everything. And he got up, and then he just swung for the rafters because Donovan went after him, and Crocker was just throwing huge swinging punches, almost like bowling ball punches. Like a cricket bowler. And he actually caught Donovan coming in with one of them. I thought, Donovan's got to be careful here. But Donovan then chased Crocker to the adjacent ropes. You heard the clapper go. By the way, the crowd was raucous. I mean, the atmosphere during this fight was amazing. And beforehand, during the build-up, fantastic atmosphere. So I wouldn't blame Donovan if he didn't hear the bell, because there was a lot going on, although Crocker said he heard the bell. And then with Crocker trapped on the ropes, blinded on the left side, Donovan then swung a huge right hand at least a second after the bell, which floored Crocker, and the referee, Marcus McDonald, sent him to a neutral corner and then disqualified him. So, you know, the man who dominated the fight then gets slung out. Was it an accumulation of things? Was it the fact that, in the referee's opinion, Donovan had been free and easy with the head? He'd had 2 points taken off, and really the punch after the bell was just like the cherry on the cake. I don't know. I think probably, yeah, I think it probably, I would imagine, I can only guess, of course, but I can only guess that the referee thought he just lost patience. He just said, oh, hell with this, you're out. But afterwards, I mean, Donovan was absolutely distraught. He was on the floor, you know, crying, and this was an eliminator for the IBF title as well. So as Eddie Hearn said afterwards, Crocker can sit on that. He can sit on that mandatory contender position, or they can have a rematch. And to me, this has got rematch written all over it. It feels like unfinished business. And to be honest, if Crocker can't get through Donovan, and my God, he struggled badly in this fight, then what's he doing in an IBF title fight, really? And come on, I think we've got to see a rematch, and definitely Hearn wants it. I think Hearn promotes both these guys, doesn't he? But this was, and the crowd were very, very pro Crocker, booed Paddy Donovan, a little unfairly, I thought, because Donovan did box beautifully. And like I said, yes, it was after the bell. The punch was after the bell, and justifiably, you can say that's a disqualification, no doubt about it. It was a clear second, at least, after the bell. I don't have a problem with the referee saying that's your lot, because that was, you know, put it this way: if the 2 points for the headbutts, the so-called headbutts, hadn't come off earlier, the referee might have cut Donovan some slack and said, "Okay, 2 points off for the foul. I'll give Crocker 5 minutes to recover." He could have played it a different way, but instead he slung Donovan out, and Donovan's got Andy Lee in his corner. I think he's only about 26, Donovan, so he's got plenty of time to come back. This is his first defeat. You know, Crocker is slightly older. He's 28. They both got plenty left. And as I say, it was a battle of undefeateds, but there has to be a rematch. I think so. And I'd like to see it next, because I think Donovan really, really did look the part. It was a great performance. It really was an excellent performance. Apart from that, you know, that final moment. So unfinished business, I would say so. But what do you think? You must have seen this fight. If you didn't, go and have a look. It's well worth looking at. Very, very good performance by Donovan. Really diffused and contained. Crocker couldn't really do anything. With him. It was almost like Donovan had Crocker's number, so to speak. But let me know what you think. Maybe you disagree, maybe you agree. What do you think about a disqualification? What do you think about the points off for the headbutts? Do you agree with that or not? Comments below, as always. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, do all that good stuff. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing. You know it makes sense. And I'm eager to read what you've got to say. Catch you later. Bye for now.